has been the reset this week, headed into a couple games coming up? The first one against Philly.
Yeah, I think just kind of give them a day to recoup a little bit. We've had some time to practice, implement some new things, clean up some slippage, and still have another full practice tomorrow and a shoot around. So still have a couple days to worry about Philly as we see them coming down the road here.
What have you thought about Gallo? About a quarter of the season in and after his ACL recovery.
Well, I think he's transitioned well. I mean, I know it's not an easy injury to recoup from. I've had the same injury back in my 20s, and of course I'm not playing at an elite level, in the NBA. So I do understand that injury takes time to fully get back to not only full strength, but just a NBA caliber level. I think he's performed well. He does some really good things for us. I know we talked about it spatially. The leadership piece he brings, but on the court, he's doing a lot of good things for that second group.
Wes, I'm kind of thinking to that third and fourth quarter in the second game in Orlando, with Landry and Corey playing off of each other off the bench. This might be a stupid question, how important is it to Corey's development to be able to play with a guy like Landry, who's a quick shooter, kind of like himself, just open?
Yeah, no, there's merit to it. I think we pair them quite often in individual work, in group work, relationship work, to get a feel for that cadence. Just the quick movement, working on finding ways to create separation, get that shot off quick enough. Landry does a really good job of that, and I think it's helped him. I think that's also Landry's kind of style of play, and it's opening things up for not only Corey, but some of those other guys in that second group. And that second group's been good for us all season.
You've talked about how Landry's been good specifically for keeping defenses on their toes and things like that, but for a guy like him came in that trade where he wasn't even the main focus of the trade, gets here, he's been a backup for a long time. What does he kind of add to the locker room part of it, the environment?
Yeah, no, he's been a great addition. He's got probably underappreciated leadership ability. There's, of course, the maturity piece. He comes to work every day, does his job. And I think he brings guys along with him. Very positive. I think at the same time, he's been around long enough to know what's not up to standard. So he's quick to say it, whether that's in a huddle, if it's in the film session, and just to have another voice within the fold, I think is important.
How do you assess Denny's jump statistically across the board?
Well, I think it's been a slow progression. I think he's still got a long way to go, a lot of room for potential. But I do like he's playing with more purpose, in everything, both sides of the ball, less fouling. He's been more disciplined in his coverage. I think he's being aggressive without, hunting shots, playing downhill, I think has helped him. We've seen the increase in his efficiency at the rim, being able to play through contact and get to the line. So all those layers, I think, are, to his credit, these are issues and things that we worked on all summer.
Wes, at the quarter pole of the season, what are things you want to work on for the next 20 games as you see as improvement?
Yeah, I think, we've seen subtle improvement from, games 1 through 10 to, 10 through 20, but that level of consistency. I think just being in the right spot, I know it's something I'm going to be harping on quite a bit, but give ourselves a chance. We've got to make sure we're a step ahead of the play. And we've seen it at times for a quarter, at times for a half. Can we do it for 36 minutes, for 48 minutes? That's the challenge.
Can you improve as a rebounding team after 20 games?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just more of a mindset, but also an awareness. Just like you can improve subtly. I'm not saying it would be a monumental jump, but I think just an awareness to, instead of ball watch, just turn and hit somebody. Just a mindset knowing we might be a little undersized, but, we can do some things to help, prevent those.
So you see Dylan out there, do you have an updated timeline for him?
Nothing as of yet, no.
He's not day-to-day yet?
No, not yet, no.
Coach, last time out against Philly, Joel Embiid had a dominant performance. So what lessons can you take from that game to tomorrow or Wednesday?
Let's not have him have a dominant performance. Oh no, he's a really good player, and he hurt us quite a bit in side pick and rolls, so we're going to have to clean that up. Most of his damage was done actually in the mid-range, and thankfully not in the post. We still have to plan for that because he's a high-volume post-up player, and they're going to play through him. So whether it's top of the floor in the post, he's a high-usage guy. Making sure we're in sync. If we got to double him, that we're all five are on the same page, and there's an awareness to it. I think that some of those tough ones you'll live with. but minimizing some of the coverage mistakes that we saw the first time we played them.
What kind of coverage was it?
Just not being in the right spot in the pick and rolls. You know, he got behind us quite a bit, and that was a bread and butter play for him.
How is, we're talking to Landry today, what does he bring from that standpoint, from the locker room, from the habits part of it all?
It brings a lot. Landry was my rookie with the Clippers, so I've been knowing him for a while, and he's just a great guy. Of course, he's a great player, but he's a great guy too, and a guy that you always want to have in your team. Is always positive. I think he's a good leader, and so it's been great for us.
How did he become your rookie? Like, how does that happen?
I mean, it wasn't like my personal rookie. It was just a rookie because when I was with the Clippers, they at the trade deadline they trade for him, and so we got him. I think it was February when we got him, and it was his first season. So I guess in the States they call it rookie, right? The first season. So it was a rookie. Yeah.
Speaking of rookies, what have you thought about Bilal's three-point shooting so far?
I think very good. He's making better decision on when to shoot and when to drive, and the more he plays, and the more I think he's gonna be able to mix, because he's a very good driver and he could be a very good shooter. So is the way that you mix it and you read the game is gonna his percentages are gonna be better and better.
What have the points of emphasis been and the recalibration for the team after a couple days off headed into competition?
It's just work on the stuff that we didn't do well, we haven't been doing well, but also on the stuff that, because you want to keep a positive, positive locker room and a positive mentality when you go into a game. And so I think that we've been working on everything, the good things that we've been doing, and the bad things that we've been doing on the court.
What are the good things that you want to see continue?
I think we've been playing a better, longer stretches of good basketball. So when we play for close to 48 minutes, then we've been playing good games. But when we don't, and we have long stretches of not playing good basketball, that's when we get ourselves in trouble. And so I think the main goal is just to do it for 48.
You guys have been scoring a lot of points, top 10 and points scored. How do you connect the volume to the efficiency?
I think the more you play together and the more you get efficient on the court. And so especially with the new group of guys, a lot of new players, you just gotta get games under your belt, and like you said, you get better by playing game by game.
Gallo, when you know that you have a matchup against the dominant center in Joel Embiid, what responsibility do you think you have as a big man coming in off the bench defensively?
Well, I'm not going to be guarding him that much coming off the bench, but I think that Gaff is ready. Gaff been doing a great job against bigs, and I'm sure that he's going to do a good job on him. But when you have a player like him, you got to prepare the game and be ready to play five guys looking at him. It can't be just a one-on-one defense, because one-on-one defense against great players in the league, you just can't do it. It's impossible to do it. And so you gotta have a good game plan and execute it with 5 guys on the court.